What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and beasts of all legislation sizes? Yes, I am doing these episodes back to back to back because that's just how life is right now. I force people to work non-stop for 500 years straight. But like, have their life insurance though. Knowing him pretty effing yes. Good company, which based off Let's Game It Out is going to be the complete and total opposite. I fucks with it on the highest level ones can fucks. Y'all know what you gotta do, man. Link in the description to Let's Game It Out so you can already check out the place and go to a good company you damn self. Let us get it, got 'em with that red, green, or maybe even purple dot 'em. Let's go. Billick.
So let's game it out. We're checking out Good Company today, a corporate machinery simulator. Favorite. Developers, thank you for trusting me with a key. Godspeed to all of us. Oh, be still my heart. The first thing we need to make is company branding. Company name. Built to break. Who did it? Like it's telling you the products suck, but then it's blaming you for buying it. And let's pick an icon that helps celebrate this idea. Oh yeah, that's it. That's the one. Look how good that looks. We can also adjust the design so it looks like this. So it reads like awesome poetry.
Break, you did it.
To break, ooh, did it. Now it's time to make our character. So naturally, the first thing I go to is facial features. Then I saw this, and I think it unintentionally looks like a nutcracker. So that's his mouth now. Oh yeah, that's the look. I'm wearing a onesie and trying to hide it with a belt look. For his name, we're just gonna go with Y. And we're off. Oh, and actually, before we get too deep into this, we have a sponsor for this video. Buckle up, because I think you might recognize them. Ta-da! It's Raid Shadow Legends. The game is free to play and is cross-device for Android, iOS, and PC. This is the bulk of the game. You gather a bunch of champions, you find some bad guys, and you beat them up. People, ogres, dragons, all getting slashed, magicked, and arrowed by you. I don't know the whole campaign's plot, but I'm pretty sure it's going to involve beating someone up. And meanwhile, you also level up your team, upgrade your gear, and then back at it. Take that, old man. Retirement's come early. What cracks me up, by the way, is the whole champion process. So you go over here to your portal to summon more heroes by breaking open these mystery shards, which I assume pulls them kicking and screaming out of the afterlife to fight for you. Welcome to my volunteer army. And that's usually when I take them over to the tavern here, which is where you level people up, which you can do by sacrificing a hero to another one. Or as I call it, feeding a champion to another champion. Nummy, nummy, num. There's a bunch of different game modes besides the campaign, including the arena where you can do PvP against other players. I have faith that my one champion can take this on. May the best champion win. There are daily rewards that will give you stuff like free energy refills, silver, and gems. And it'll also land you a free barbarian legendary champion called the Skyle of the Drake. So to check it out, the link you need is in the description. And if you're a new player and you want to use that link, you'll also get 100,000 silver, 2 clan boss keys, and 10 mystery shards so you too can pull champions peacefully from the afterlife. Speaking of champions, through my link, you also get the adjudicator. And lastly, you get extra rewards from your in-game inbox for the next 30 days. So thanks again, Raid, for the sponsorship. Let's get back to the mayhem. As always, we're going right into free play, so we can freestyle some madness immediately. Okay, so here we are in our nice, big, beautiful warehouse. Before we begin, let's take a quick tour. Over here, we have another building we can buy. And if we go to the back, a whole bunch more buildings we can buy. Also, why am I walking this way? Am I a robot? Is this my first time out? Hey, lady, can you help me? I want to get out. I want to be where the people are. Why are there gates here if I can't use them? Well, maybe I can just like fidget my way through this. Come on, just let me through. Oh, I figured out a way to break through everything.
Shit.
Well, that was quick. I guess let's see where this takes us. Okay, watch out for that bus, buddy. Oh, no. Turns out there's not much going on out here. Well, should we just see how far along this will take us? Let's just speed this up, shall we? Oh, yeah, there we go. Now we're cruising. Well, we made it as far as February. You know, the 30th, our favorite day in February. All right, I'm going to push another button, see what happens.
Hey,
hello, we're back. So it looks like once you try to move from that spot, it snaps you back to reality, which is too bad. I sure would love to talk to these people or steal some cars, but we'll just have to stick with freaking people out and almost causing traffic accidents before gliding into the great plains of the beyond forever. Okay, back to the actual warehouse that we own. This is the incoming and outgoing zones. On the incoming zone, this is where we buy supplies. For starters, we have 3, which are chemicals, electronic parts, and plastic. And as we can see by this little thing here, they deliver pretty often. The outgoing zone is where we put stuff when we want to sell it. It picks up a little less frequently. So we're going to start by building some stuff. We got stuff like storage, logistics, crafting, assembly, research, and finally decoration, our favorite. Now look, I know I only have $100,000 and this rug is kind of pricey, but I think we should still indulge.
for a rug?
Yes. And of course a plant, which now I have to wonder, does this block the path? The answer is yes, but the plant stays for now, because if we really need to get out, we can do it here. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is set up some stuff. We've got all kinds of shelving racks, and we're gonna need something because we need to store the things we make. So just for funsies, we're gonna start with the big old shelving rack, obviously because it's huge and unwieldy. We'll put this gently off center on the zebra rugs. Now when we order up all of our stuff, it shows up right there in the incoming zone. We can pick all this crap up and move it all to our big shelving rack. But this is all in the service of trying to build stuff to sell. To do that, we gotta build a tinker table, which we're also gonna painfully put in the way. Oh, and we can name the table? Table of Mistakes. Yeah, there we go. Now I'll never forget. Oh, I can name the big shelving rack too? Sick Racks.
Sick Racks, baby girl.
Oh, God, you can rename everything in this game.
Oh,
Hot components coming through. For outgoing, cheap, crappy goods for suckers. Okay, the setting is ready. Anyway, back to the Table of Mistakes. From here, you can see that we can build other stuff, like a simple case, a single cell battery, and an LED array. We're gonna set up a design desk, and even though we have all this space, we're gonna just mash it again. We're also gonna need this assembly table. Yeah, let's put that right there. So if you click on this thing down here, you get the market overview. It tells you what people are expecting to buy right now, apparently, which at this time is calculator phase 2. Selling for a maximum price of $666.
Oh, no.
That's my kind of calculator.
Oh,
Over
God,
here at the
no.
design desk, we're gonna create one of them calculators. And
Them
basically, we select
calculators.
first the case, and then we select each one of these components, and we just kind of mash them in the available space. Putting one or more down changes the market appeal, and adding a lot more components seems to agree with that idea. Now, I want to build crap, so people aren't getting extra components. Market appeal 2.5. That's kind of like getting a C in school, right? Good enough. And that's what we're gonna name our first calculator. Good enough. And there it is. Now that we have our design figured out, we have to build it. So we go over to the assembly table, excuse me, where dreams are made. We select the old good enough, which we're gonna build as soon as we make these freaking components, which means we have to go back over to the Table of Mistakes, select which one we want to build, which is gonna require 10 plastic. So we just go over to our sick racks, grab the crap we need, back over to the Table of Mistakes, and craft us a couple. After we watch him massage nothing for a while, we eventually have a bunch of cases to use. And then once we have those, we can switch to the batteries, grab the stuff we need, craft those too, move on to the LED arrays, craft those until you go cross-eyed. And then once we have all those lovely components, we assemble them one at a time. And that's how dreams are made. And then we march over to the outgoing zone where we place all of our calculators on there and wait for them to sell. Ta-da! We just made a bunch of money. Well, that was a whole hell of a lot of work. Oh, but don't you worry, we can automate all of that. First, let's go up to build mode, slam down 2 more tinker tables. I'm also gonna try and use every single space. I want nothing wasted, so it's gonna look terrible everywhere. Now we're gonna hire some people to do this for us. I'm gonna hire only people that look sort of confused, like Haley here.
Oh, Haley,
so you're hired, and Cyrus is hired, and James. Welcome to the team, everybody. What a beautiful cramped area this is gonna be. Now you might notice no one's actually building anything. It's because they don't have the supplies they need. That's because we need to hire another person, where all they do is move supplies around. Come here, Spyro, you're hired. How's he gonna know what to move? Well, that's what the logistics button is for. Basically, we have to create the connections for him. So the stuff in the incoming zone, we're gonna tell these components that they need to go to the sick racks. And so we'll just drag each component over to that section. See, here he comes now, just shoving through everyone else. And he'll just keep on doing this forever. Now that we've got the sick racks full of sick stuff, we're gonna drag these chemicals over here where they need to be made, plastic where it needs to be made over here, and the electronic parts where they need to be made over here. And we're gonna tell them to take the outgoing components, put them back on the sick racks. And once all 3 of those are on the sick racks, we need them all to go over here to Dream Desk, and so we make that connection here too. I'm serious. And then once the calculator is good, you move it over to the cell thingy. See, there we go. Now everything's happening and I don't have to do anything. And as these things pile up, eventually they're gonna sell, and we're gonna make a healthy profit. Okay, so that's pretty much how the game works, right? So here's my question. If I just hire a ton of people and build a ton of these calculators, can I just make a whole boatload of money really fast? I guess there's only one way to find out. So first, let's hire some employees. You're all hired. Build a bunch of these tables. Make sure no one has any personal space anywhere. Spend a painful amount of time trying to draw these connections to everything. Well, seems to be working as intended. Everyone's just kind of putting stuff everywhere in the most disorganized fashion, but it sure is making for a lot of calculators. If you look over on the market overview, you can see that we're on phase 4 of the calculators, which I think means that eventually they'll stop selling well. If I were to sell them at full price, I could only sell 3 a week. So essentially, I'll just keep discounting it until we literally can't sell them anymore. And then we'll move on to the next piece of crap we can fool people into buying. You know what? I wonder something. Over here at the sick racks, as you can see, we always have a nice abundance of these supplies. Can I just sell these things over here too? No, looks like you can. Well, what the hell? Let's make a little extra money while we're at it.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I think
wow.
that made us a lot more money. Wait a minute. So if
Screw
these
the
things sell for
calculators.
300 each, but I can sell one of these for 70, what if I just sell components? Is that like a good throughput for making money? So here's what I think it hinges on. If we craft it with the Tinker Table like we are now, it takes 10 seconds.
10
but if we get
seconds?
this basic workbench, 4
4
seconds. I think we just found our next step. So
Oh,
we can't
dear
place
God.
the workbench yet because we need to unlock it. See down here where it says milestones? We need to get to milestone 2, which among other things will unlock the basic workbench.
gas.
To do this, we need to spend research points. So the next thing we're gonna do is build a research desk. Let's see, where am I gonna put it? It's like we're running out of space in here. Okay, that'll do. And as you can see, there's a bunch of different things we can research. Good lord, it gets really complex.
Oh, God.
Sensors, cameras, passive coolers,
The new
all these
PS5.
beautiful components we can sell. Now I realize all of this stuff is so you can build stuff with it, but now I want to see if we can actually get a ton of money with only building and selling the supplies. So in order for us to research these things, nothing's actually going to happen until we have basic research data, which is what this analysis desk is for. Oh, look at that. Fits perfectly right there. It's going to be super in the way, but not actually block anybody. Apparently, basically all we have to do is have someone analyzing components, and then they get these juicy research points. So as always, we'll just hire another person, analyze until you die. Yeah, there we go.
Okay,
That's the
then.
kind of analyzing I like seeing done. And now that we have all these analysis points, or
Also, random, but anyone else see the tiny little bulb head guy, little robot dude? This guy right here, he's adorable. Name him in the comments.
whatever, researching can commence. We're playing the drums, so long as something is happening. Ta-da, we researched the plastic thingamabob. And researching this tier 2 item here appears to have unlocked tier 3. So let's go straight to that. Get our research on. Okay, so far we're doing good. As soon as we do 500 research point thingies or whatever, we're gonna get the things we need.
Basic
Ta-da,
workbench it
milestone
all.
reached. Now that we have access to a basic workbench and a chemistry table, we can build all these components in 4 seconds instead of 10 seconds.
Hell
okay, so
yeah.
let's just get rid of this table.
Neat.
Replace it with a workbench.
Yes, sir.
Okay, enjoy your new home, building stuff even faster. Okay, everything's retrofitted
Oh
now.
my
Production
God.
continues to go without a hitch.
Oh.
Now, as we can see of our 3 components, they're hitting the maximum a stack can be, and for whatever reason, we can only have 1 stack each. Actually, it
Dang.
turns out you can make more stacks. Oh, I wonder if this changes everything. Wait a minute, if I fill all these up, will it sell all of these? I guess there's only one way to find out. Okay, it doesn't sell all of them. If you
Oh.
look at our little sales report here, you can see we sold 150 total modules.
Okay.
And since we're only selling 3 different types
Oh,
of
little robot
modules,
dude.
I guess we can only sell 50 apiece. But still, that's a pretty substantial increase. Okay, so at this point, I have an idea. We're gonna stop selling calculators because
There
now that
you
we
go.
can put down more components, I want to see if we can make
Big
money
brain.
just doing this. And since we're not gonna be making these calculators anymore, let's go ahead and free up some of this real estate
gone.
and use this for some more valuable desk space. Now that we've got our picture-perfect
Oh,
logistics
dear
underway,
God.
arms just flying everywhere, it's time to move on to phase 2 of our plan, and that's good old expansion. Let's see, how much do 90,000?
$90,000.
Well, so be it. Hey, new warehouse, I'm home. Oh, looks kind of like the old one. Well, at least it's got its own incoming and
And it's
outgoing
bigger.
zone thingy. So now that I know we can only sell 50 of these at a time, I would say we have tier 1 on lockdown for that. So let's start selling some beautiful tier 2 stuff. So we'll just do a quick bit of research so that we can unlock this wooden case thing. Oh yeah, this is how we're gonna make
Oh,
the
yeah.
big bucks. You and me, Lamp, we're going all the way. It's now time to set up our infrastructure. Obviously, first thing we're gonna need is some hot racks. There
Oh,
we
yeah.
go. So we have 4 things in tier 2. Let's focus on these cases first. We got a plastic case and a wooden case. As we can see in the basic workbench here, both can be made through this. This one's
In
real
4
easy.
seconds.
It requires wood and metal. We're gonna order some metal and some wood, and we're gonna use all 4 of these stations to make it. I'm excited because these wood cases, they sell for 110. It's not quite
Hey.
50 total, but let's see how it does. Oh yeah, that's what I like to see.
Money.
Cool, let's make that other case thing. It's gonna be slightly more complicated because we have to use plastic and the simple cases that we built previously. So we're gonna have to build actually 2 things
Oh,
here.
jeez.
Half of these are gonna make just the simple cases, and then these other 4 are gonna make this second tier plastic case. And then I connect everything in
Oh,
my
God.
logistics spider web. Let's see how
Ah.
this is doing for selling. Okay, great. That's working like a
Hey,
charm.
making some
If you like
cash juice.
connecting dots, then this is definitely the game for you. Well, so far so good. Every shipment period, we have a big old pile of contraband.
Very
And then when
nice.
it sells, we
Contraband.
make even more money. So
Cash
pretty much the way
juice.
I'm playing this game, you know, the components game, is just make this big mess of madness mess where I'm constantly linking everything together. What a beautiful logistics nightmare I've created for myself. At this point now, there's just so many components, and I feel like the smart play is to figure out which ones are the easiest to build, but I'm not really gonna know until I research all this stuff, right? And me doing it myself is such a long, painful process, so let's just hire a bunch of people to do it for me. First off, we're gonna walk over to this building right here. This one's a little cheaper at 20K, which is gonna be perfect for what I wanna do, and that's Research Mania. Oh, you know what I realized? It doesn't actually matter if they can move around, so I've really kind of compacted them in here. I mean, they can't ever leave, but that's okay. They got research to do. Oh my god, it's so fast.
Wow.
See, this is the kind of researching I want to see. Just done in the blink of an eye. Well, I guess we're just gonna unlock all of this stuff, so hang on a quick second.
6 hours later. Yo, that was a Chick-fil-A ad, and it was the most wholesome shit I have ever seen. It actually gave me wholesome goosebumps. I might leave a little bit of that in if I can, because that was one wholesome ass mother-loving ad. It makes sense from Chick-fil-A of all places. Yo, shout out Chick-fil-A, man. I see you out here giving even wholesome ads out this hoe. Anyway, back to good stuff. 6 hours later, of course.
Things are looking good. A little time has passed. It is now beautiful year 40. We've all just been standing here doing this. Along the way, we've made a little bit of money. And also, there was a bunch of milestones. If you recall, that's how we unlocked such vital things as the chemistry table and workbench. But it turns out all this researching actually unlocked all of the rest of the milestones. And boy, are there some interesting rewards. Like, we got stuff I don't really understand yet, like this welding table. But then we have something that really speaks to my soul. Conveyor belts. So for sure, we're gonna have to take a look at those. And as we go up in the milestones, there's a bunch of other stuff that I'm sure is really important, like a mechanics workbench, an advanced electronics workbench. But enough about that for now. Let's see how our research is going. We're working on the triple joint segment right now, and as you can see, everything else is unlocked. But hold on to that thought. We're about to finish our last piece. And with that, we have literally nothing else to research. Well, I thank you for your last 30 plus years of service. I'm gonna give you all a little reward, which is first I'm gonna remove some of these desks, and then I'm gonna block all the exits. Let everybody stretch their legs for a little bit, and then I'm gonna see if I can confine you all in a really tiny space. There we go, everyone's nice and situated. How are you all feeling? Good, I hope? So I'm just gonna leave all these people here. Maybe an opportunity will present itself. Okay, I just gotta know more about these conveyor belts now. Let's see what we can do. I need to be able to make everything just a horrible disaster.
God. Oh no.
My God, these can go outside. Oh God, yes. Okay, well, first things first. Remember all these awesome people diligently on the job for decades? Starting to think I've been too kind to them. See, that's better. That'll learn ya. Oh, and I haven't forgotten about you in here. Let's go ahead and restrict your space just a little bit more. Oh yeah, super cozy now. We can even get rid of the shelves now. And look at that, it goes in a perfect little circle. Yeah, I'm just gonna put some of these old calculators on the belt. Enjoy.
This is your life.
Barf. So one of the other things that happened by year 41, not only do we have our glorious calculators now on Phase 82, but we also have game devices, cleaner bots, camera drones, and robotic guides. You know, the only 5 pillars of technology, which I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty sure if we made these things, we would make more money. But everybody knows you don't make robotic guides until like Phase 90. So until then, let's continue in the components business. So let's go over here, place one of each of all of our new fancy tools. So really, the job now is to go through all of these and whoa, so jam-packed with stuff, they didn't even leave space for this thing. So I feel like we could go item by item and spend the next 10,000 years trying to look at everything, because between all of the benches, there's just a ton of crap to look at. So really, I think we should just find the most expensive one and build that first. Oh, and I think we found our winner. High-res camera for $380 a piece. I mean, how hard can this be, right? Like, besides the 2 ingredients, all we need is that stereo camera. And to make a stereo camera, we only need these ingredients. And a low-res camera. Are you telling me
make a low-res camera,
make a high-res camera, you have to build a stereo camera that's pretty much just 2 low-res cameras? And that turns into a high-res camera? I have so much to learn about technology. Anyway, and to build this low-res piece of crap, we need proximity sensors. And to build proximity sensors, we need brightness sensors. And to build the brightness sensor, okay, thank God, base level components. I think we're gonna need our own warehouse for this. For sale sign, get out of the way. Money is no object. Okay, let's make a thing to make a thing.
5 hours later.
Okay, here we are. It's been a little while. It's the year 65 now. I've built out our infrastructure to handle the high-res cameras. Let me give you the grand tour. I basically separated out the buildings, one for each leg of production. What we're looking at right now is all the core ingredients that we're gonna need to use to build all those things. And because each one needs something different, that's why I've set up a whole bunch of conveyor belts. If we head over this direction, I'll show you the first leg of our journey. This warehouse to the left, this is where we build our brightness sensors. All the components we need show up on conveyor belts, where they're picked up and taken over to the hot rack so everyone can start production. After that, the finished brightness brightness sensors are taken over to this conveyor belt here and sent on to the next leg of the journey. As you can see, they're joined by two other ingredients, which are plastic and metal sundries, which originated here in the first warehouse we looked at, before being dropped off on these conveyor belts right outside, snaking up past this building, and then joining a nice long queue, eventually finding their way over here to join the brightness sensors. Then the old guy squad here diligently picks everything up, racks part 2, more sweatshop labor, and this lovely fellow sends them to their next destination, and so on and so forth. These people build the low-res cameras, send them on down the production line, the next stop picks them up, turns them into sweet stereo cameras, and then off they go to their final destination. Good God, all this just to make high-res cameras. And then once our lovely folks here build them, we finally sell them, as well as any extra stereo cameras we have lying around. So what do we think? When this sells, do we think we're gonna turn a profit?
Let's hope so. Oh,
not bad. Also, boy, was it a pain in the ass to set up all these conveyor belts.
I bet it was.
Because I can't climb over them, so I had to figure out how to put them down in a way that wouldn't block me. Oh, speaking of blocking though, I had a spare room here, so I went ahead and set up something special. Everybody say hi to my favorite employee. Her job is to take this metal, turn it into rods, and then promptly throw it in a dumpster. She's surrounded by these beautiful agave plants and is never allowed to leave. But I have to say, all things considered, she sure is handling this with a lot of grace. So as nice as it is to be consistently cash positive, I think there's one piece of the puzzle that we're missing. See, the more we expand to build these new things, there's always going to be a ton of overhead. Like if you look at our cash flow here, we are indeed making money, but the cost of wages and material purchases is pretty damn high. And I think it scales like that every time we try and build new stuff. Oh, but I think we have a silver bullet here. It's called time and patience. So I have to wonder, how long can we make these people do back-breaking labor? Only one way to find out.
2 weeks later?
Turns out quite a long time. Our factory's been running for over 500 years now. I kind of just left the game running for a couple of weeks, went off and made 2 whole other videos, and now here we sit on a beautiful $71 million. I couldn't help but notice, though, that something seems a little different. That seems a little choppy. Uh-oh, what's happening here? Oh my God, frame rate, what happened to you? Is this just how people walk in the future now? No time for smooth walking? Oh wow, and I can jitter through walls. What kind of fun can we have with this? Oh wow, that was easy. I phased right through that door. Damn it, the game's smarter than I thought. It still won't let me go out there and play in traffic, but at least I can phase through these cars here. It's gonna be a real pleasant surprise for whoever's vehicle this is. Okay, so the shattering of space-time aside, I'm gonna go ahead and say that yes, you can be successful only selling components, so long as you have a dedicated, immortal crew and have about 500 years on your hands. At this point, I feel like there's only one thing left to do, and that's that I feel like we should give Grace here some company. So it looks like if we hire new people, they pop up right over there. That's cool, we can contain that with some conveyor belts. And there we go, we've expanded the playpen. Now it's time to hire like we've never hired before.
Hire every 4 more freaking hours.
So while I was trying to hire tons of people, the game froze. And when I tried to load my save game, it's been stuck on loading for a couple hours now. I have seen some pretty interesting things happening on the loading screen. Like it looks like parts of my factory are part of the streets now. Not to mention the 1,000 people I hired are all stuck in this little cluster here. Meanwhile, the parking lots never looked finer with all of my machinery in it. And I'm sure these cars are having a great time going through my supplies. So I gotta admit, this wasn't the outcome I was expecting, but I'll take it. So I hope you had fun. I know I did. I give this game 1 forklift running for safety, while the Matrix over here continues to lose cohesion. I'll see you next time.
That's gonna do it for this one, ladies and gently McGentle gents. Now that right there is how you create and maintain a perfect good company. Just have an immortal staff, good 500 years, and the patience of a god. Cause there ain't no way I would have been able to do this shit. Link in the description, of course, to the main man himself, learning us with that good learning juice how to get it done and have the fun bars. But guys, if you liked this video, I want you to take your beast mode claws of awesomeness juice and let's see, and carry the forward slash the like button. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and of all ages, shapes, and sizes, love, peace, power. I want you to stay beast mode for the big win of all the wins. Knife hand technique wins.